Okay, so got a lot to talk about with this Elimination Chamber. Had some surprises in this thing tonight. You think of, we're just kind of treading water to get to WrestleMania at this point, but no. WWE threw a few things at us tonight. Overall, I was pretty happy, to be honest. I was disappointed I didn't get to see my girl Asuka in action. You'd think they could have found somebody to fight her since Lacey Evans, who's, totally pregnant now, couldn't fight, but of course, they won't do anything for Asuka. I don't. She ought to go AEW or something because they're not treating Asuka right. So where do we start here? Okay, well first let me just say that NXT. I didn't do a reaction to NXT Vengeance or whatever it was, Valentine's night. Even though I really enjoyed it, NXT is really the best wrestling going as far as I'm concerned. Because those guys over there are amazing. Those guys and gals, a lot better than what you're seeing on Raw and SmackDown. But I haven't been watching it very long, so I felt like I might sound stupid if I did a reaction to that because I'm just learning some of the people. But I was really happy that Raquel Gonzalez and Dakota Kai won the Dusty Rhodes tag team, the women's thing. I like them. Raquel Gonzalez is just a beast. I really like Dakota Kai. I would love Shotzi if she was a bad guy, but I just can't pull for her as a good. It's hard for me to pull for good guys. So I love Johnny Gargano. I was happy he won. What else went on that night? Of course, all the stuff at the end with Finn Balor. That was, I haven't been watching long enough to have been totally shocked because I don't really know a lot about Adam Cole and whatever that group is. I can't think of the name right now, which shows you how little I've been watching because otherwise I'd probably know it. Anyway, let's get on to Elimination Chamber. So, see if I can remember everything that went down tonight. The first, we had the Fatal 4-Way, somebody to take Keith Lee's place, and the 3-way match for the U.S. Heavyweight Championship. Kind of hate Keith Lee wasn't in it, so I like Keith Lee even though he's a good guy. Even though I've got to the point, I'm sort of like Simon on What Culture Wrestling. I've just got where I finally got to where I love Bobby Lashley because he just goes out and kills people. He just goes out and destroys people. And of course, when I start, I finally start pulling him for Bobby Lashley over that, over Bro Riddle, and it bites me in the butt tonight. But we'll get to that. So, who was in? I don't even remember who all was in the Fatal 4-Way. John Morrison won. That's all that really matters. So, Riddle, John Morrison, and Bobby Lashley later on for the U.S. Heavyweight Championship. But we start out the night with the Elimination Chamber for, the 6 dudes competing to take on Roman Reigns. And I have to say, I finally started liking Roman Reigns. I think it's because Roman Reigns is going after Edge so hard because, I don't like Edge. Sorry, I don't like Edge. And Roman Reigns is really starting to grow on me. He really is he really is good at being a heel. So, I can't not appreciate that. So, I think I'm a Roman Reigns fan now. And of course, he got the great deal. He's like, you guys are all going to fight in the Elimination Chamber, and then I'm going to fight the winner. So, you guys go out, and beat the heck out of each other, and then I'll go fight the winner. Which, pretty good deal for Roman. So it was a pretty good match. Oh man, so much I got to remember who all was in it. Oh yeah, well I don't like Daniel Bryan. I don't like yeah. That's the dumbest thing I've ever seen. So of course he won. Daniel Bryan won. I was really surprised. I thought Cesaro would win. Gosh, I can't remember who all was in it now. I know Cesaro was in it because I thought he would win, but it didn't go that way. how can I forget stuff? It just happened literally less than 3 hours ago, and I can't remember who all was in it. King Corbin was in it. KO was in it. I was really shocked KO got pinned because I figured, it's like KO, they're just going to let him fight Roman Reigns again because that's what we've been doing for the last 18 years on SmackDown. So I was pretty excited. I like KO, but I was pretty excited when he got pinned because I really didn't expect that. Thought Cesaro would win, but it goes to Daniel Patrick, and then he's laid there. He's all beat up. He can't stand up, and here comes Bob on. Here comes the big dog, Roman Reigns, and I'm really happy now. And I'm like, yes, I'm definitely pulling for you, Roman Reigns, because I can't stand Daniel Bryan. And Daniel Bryan did his little trick, and got him into yes hold or whatever they call it, stupid thing. But that ain't gonna stop Roman Reigns. So. And, but after that point, it was just a formality how long Roman wanted to toy with Daniel Bryan before he, finally put him away. So, yes, I like that match. That was good. I was happy Roman Reigns retains. And then out of nowhere, here comes stupid Edge, gives him a spear, which I didn't see. Again, something I didn't see. I should have, duh. But I didn't see that coming. So I wasn't too happy about it because I don't like Edge. But that means, yes, definitely, and they confirmed it later on, Edge is going to fight Roman Reigns, which I'm happy about because that's what we want. I didn't really want Edge fighting for the WWE Championship. We'll let him fight Roman Reigns for the Universal Championship. Hopefully Roman Reigns will just beat the fool out of him and send him home again because that's pretty much, Roman Reigns is pretty much in the business of beating people up. So I'll be pulling for Roman Reigns at WrestleMania post show. What was next? I think next was, God, I hope I don't forget something. I think next was the U.S. Championship, U.S. Heavyweight Championship. Again, Riddle, John Morrison, and Bobby Lashley. And, like I said, I've now decided Lashley's awesome. So, I'm going to be pulling for Lashley, even though I'm not a huge fan of the Hurt Business. I mean, Cedric Alexander, I just don't like him at all. Shelton Benjamin's okay. But, Bobby Lashley, he's just awesome. He just comes out and kills people. I mean, how can you not like that? He's just been insane the last few weeks. So, obviously, now that I'm a newly minted Bobby Lashley fan, he loses the belt. And it really sucks because Riddle pinned John Morrison for the championship. And that shouldn't be allowed. I mean, Lashley didn't get pinned. He wasn't involved. You shouldn't lose a championship if you're not the one getting pinned. I really don't like these three-way matches or this kind of crap. And Bobby Lashley's been really, really irritable lately, and this ain't going to help. This is not going to help. Riddle's now the new heavyweight champ, U.S. heavyweight champion, which, I've been liking Riddle, and, I've been pulling for him all the other 200 times he's had against Bobby Lashley to win this stupid belt and got killed every time. So now when I change sides and go with Bobby Lashley, they give it to Riddle. So I don't think Riddle's going to stay champion very long. I hope not. I mean, Riddle's cool and he's fun and comical and entertaining and all, but he's not really champion material. Not like Bobby Lashley. I mean, come on. Bobby Lashley versus Riddle, they're not even in the same universe. So I'm not real happy about that match. But I am kind of looking forward to see what Bobby Lashley's going to do. And we're going to mention him again. If you haven't watched it yet, this is all, all spoilers here I'm giving you. So don't be listening to this if you hadn't already watched it. So, or unless you can't watch it and you need to know what happened. But anyway, Women's Tag Team Championship. Now, if you watched my video when I talked about my reaction to Royal Rumble, I don't like Bianca Belair. I'm sorry, and I'm not a huge Sasha Banks fan either. So I definitely can't be pulling for. I ain't gonna pull for them individually, so I sure ain't gonna pull for them teamed up as a tag team. So I had to pull for Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler, even though they're bad guys. I haven't been pulling for them because I don't know. It's hard to pull for Nia. I don't really like Nia Jax. And they're kind of making Baszler into a joke here lately when she should be eating people alive because I mean she's a rough woman. So, but I pulled for him tonight, and so I was happy with the outcome, even though it got a little silly because Reginald comes out there and I don't know what he's doing. Of course, he distracts Sasha Banks, and then she loses. But I don't really care because I just didn't want Belair and Banks to win. I don't really know where they're going with this because I think we all know Belair and Sasha Banks are gonna fight at WrestleMania. So I don't know what this whole team up thing's all about. But I'm glad they lost because I'm looking forward to my girls Raquel Gonzalez and Dakota Kai from NXT getting their shot that they've earned at the tag team championship. So I really want to see that match. I want to see what Shayna Baszler can do with Raquel Gonzalez. So I'm happy with that match. So then we go to the final match, Elimination Chamber, and a lot of stuff happened. A lot of stuff happened here. We knew that Sheamus would be the last guy out of the cone of silence thing, whatever they call it, the bubble, or whatever it is. I was a little surprised that Drew McIntyre did. I figured they would make him start out, but no, it started out with Randy Orton and somebody else. Jeff Hardy. And then Drew came out third. He was the first one out of the pod, so he was third to the six in there. And then Kofi came out, I think, or was it Kevin Owens next? I don't know. They all came out, and good Lord, Randy Orton gets pinned. I don't know. What happened there? How does Randy Orton get pinned by Kofi Kingston? And there wasn't any kind of shenanigans. Alexa Bliss didn't pop up and go boo. The Fiend didn't show up, unfortunately. But how does Randy Orton get eliminated first? That kind of blew my mind. It should have been. It's not the first surprise we're going to have here. So, and then of course we end up. Sheamus finally comes out last, and Drew and him are beating on each other, and always do it for. I was pulling for AJ because I'm a big AJ Styles fan now. I really hoped he was going to win the championship, and had that kind of cool moment when Kevin Owens actually got eliminated. Why am I saying Kevin Owens? He was in the other one. Oh, it was when Randy Orton got eliminated. He just got pissed off and started RKOing everybody, which I don't know why he didn't do that to start with, and he wouldn't have got eliminated. So he lays out like Drew McIntyre and Hardy, I think, or somebody in this thing, and AJ's like, "Let me out here," almost just rips the plexiglass off because he's a monster of a man. And then of course he gets thrown out, but like who cares? I almost can't. Ain't like he can get in the elimination chamber anyway. So he's done his job. He's ripped the thing off so AJ could run around and come in there and try to pin these people who have been RKO'd by a pissed off Randy Orton. Doesn't really work out that way. But the match goes on. And then lo and behold, Sheamus gets pinned. And it comes down to who does it come down to? It comes down to Drew and AJ, I think. And I'm like, AJ's got a chance here. Is they gonna let AJ win this? This be awesome. No, that doesn't happen. But Drew wins, which is what I expected all along. And he's celebrating and all. And then and I'm like, okay, Miz, this is where you at, Miz? this is your shot. Drew's kind of wore out over here, and for some reason, I like the Miz now too. So I was like, come on, Miz, cash in that Money in the Bank. And we saw a spot earlier on, and I kind of missed it because during the 2.5 hour bit, you have to go to the bathroom at some point. So I came back in and I saw just the very end of Miz talking to MVP. So I didn't really know what that was about, but I had suspicions so Drew's up celebrating, and I'm like, okay, Miz, here it's your time now. And who comes out of the blue but Bobby Lashley, and just starts beating on Drew McIntyre. So apparently we know what Miz was talking to what he was talking to MVP about. And I'm sure Bobby Lashley's super pissed off now. He's in new stratosphere of pissed offness. So I don't really know what the deal was, but I'm sure he was not too reluctant to go and take his frustration out on somebody. And I'm like, well, maybe we're going to have Bobby Lashley challenge him for the World Heavyweight Championship now. But probably not, because after he got Drew in the Hurt Locker and pretty much, wore him out there. He was only in there about a minute, but he took Drew pretty good that minute. Here comes, Awesome, and here comes the Miz, and he cashes in his thing. And I'm like, I can't believe it at this point, because I'm like, I still thought Drew was going to win, because they're not going to let the Miz. The Miz has been a joke for like the last year or so. They're not going to let the Miz be the heavyweight champion, and then they let the Miz be the heavyweight champion. And I was thrilled for some reason, because even though I like Drew McIntyre, I just can't help myself. My nature is to pull for the bad guys, and the Miz is the bad guy now. So, he did his first move, and Drew kicked out of it, and then he did, that face plant thing, skull crusher, whatever. It's got skull in the name anyway. And pinned Drew McIntyre. And the Miz is the new heavyweight championship. So now Riddle is the new U.S. heavyweight champion, and the Miz is the new WWE champion. Two pretty shocking results as far as I'm concerned. I did not expect Bobby Lashley to lose, which he didn't really, because, again, John Morrison got pinned by Riddle. You shouldn't take Bobby Lashley's belt away for that. But Lashley he came in and took care of Drew McIntyre for the Miz. So I don't know what's going to happen now. Well, the Miz is the champ. Who's he going to fight at WrestleMania? Because we know Edge is going to fight Roman Reigns. And are they going to let this stand, or is Drew going to? I'm assuming it'll be Drew versus Miz at WrestleMania, which doesn't seem like the biggest draw match you could put together. I was kind of liking the idea of Drew McIntyre versus Bobby Lashley. Now that seems like that's a match I would sign up to watch. So we'll have to see what happens. Raw should be pretty interesting tomorrow night. So yeah, that's my reaction. Oh, and the other thing, during the first Elimination Chamber match, poor Kevin Owens, this is how he got eliminated. He got thrown against some guy, whoever, got eliminated, and they opened the big door, and they roll that guy out. And then Jey Uso grabs the door. Kevin Owens gets pushed against the door, so he's got his arm hanging out, and they slam that door up on his arm. Boom. I don't know how that doesn't hurt like the dickens. It looked pretty real to me. He hollered pretty good. At first I thought, well, man, and then I thought Uso it looked like he was trying to pull the door open. I thought, oh, they done screwed up and they've really crushed Kevin Owens' arm. This is not good. But of course, the story was that Uso was trying to hold it while the refs outside were trying to open it. But it looked really painful to me. I've slammed the door on my finger, and I know how much that hurt. I have a big cage slammed on my arm. Not something I want to do. So that was, and then of course, that was it for Kevin Owens. One more hit to the head, and he was pinned. So that was a shocking thing, but he was probably pretty happy about it because I think that thing hurt his arm when that gate hit it. Um, so yeah, but that's my reaction to Elimination Chamber 2021. Really surprising to me. I thought it would be a fairly predictable, uneventful event, and it wasn't. It surprised me on several counts. Especially getting the Miz. The Miz is a new heavyweight. Is the new WWE champion. So uh, I just cannot believe they took the belt away from Drew McIntyre right now with WrestleMania on the horizon. So good job with good job with surprising me there, WWE. Um, and I was pretty happy with all but one match. So pretty good night for my viewership. I was pretty entertained